sun is burning red. It's shining like colonies overhead. I'm listening, all the things I was said. Love, hate, and some sorrow. I choose peace instead. Yo, what's up, everybody? It's your boy King of Hearts 002, aka Domo, aka Boru Ko. Y'all know what it is. I got a lot of names because I do a lot of different things. You feel me? Today we here with my highly anticipated review of Black Myth Wukong. A lot of you guys have been asking for this one, asking for my opinions on it, which I guess are value because I'm somewhere in between a casual gamer and a hardcore sweat, you know? We're gonna get into it today. Black Myth Wukong is a highly anticipated action RPG from Game Science. It's their first AAA title. It draws inspiration from the classic Chinese novel Journey to the West. It's set in a mythical world filled with legendary creatures, deities, and gods. The game puts you behind the shoes of Sun Wukong, who, if you didn't know, Goku from Dragon Ball Z is directly inspired by this character. He's a monkey king, and we're here today to answer the question, does it deliver on the hype or does it fall short? First and foremost, shout out to the sponsors, Team Red Pro and No Weekdays. Their links are below. Make sure you check them out and go support them. Let's get straight into the video. So the game's narrative is actually rooted in rich Chinese mythology, which I love. I grew up a martial artist for about 22 years doing Shaolin Kung Fu, so I'm already familiar with it. It brings the tale of Sun Wukong to life in a way that's both familiar and fresh. The storytelling is handled in a unique manner. It blends 2D portraits, cutscenes, in-game dialogue, and the environment all together to capture this story. However, while the story does have its strong point, some players, some Chinese culture enthusiasts, and some other gamers might find it a little bit disjointed, lacking seamless integration of narrative and gameplay that other top-tier RPGs seem to do flawlessly. Now let's get on to the thing that matters, i.e., I think the most, the gameplay mechanics, right? It's a video game. This is what we came for. Combat is truly where Black Myth Wukong shines. The mechanics feel solid and responsive, offering 3 different combat stances that add depth and variety to each encounter. Dodging feels especially great, allowing for smooth, fluid movements that make combat even more satisfying, especially when you get those perfect dodges. Ooh, man, it's just something gratifying about it. The spells are not only fun to use, but I love how the spells are actually deeply connected to the lore. It adds another layer of immersion as you unleash powerful abilities, similar to ones that are found into the Journey to the West. Switching between the stances allows for strategic flexibility, making boss battles very engaging, as you will need the right tool for the right job. First out of the 3 stances is your smash stance. It's very versatile and very reliable for most of your encounters and most of your mob tactics, right? Then second on the list, you have pillar stance, which is ideal for crowd control and evading some techniques that are a little bit cheesy, but most importantly, when the enemy is stunned, this is going to be your go-to to deal out some very nice damage. Third, but not least, is my favorite stance, the thrust stance. It allows rapid fire, increasing your critical chance, as well as use of hit and run tactics, as well as initiating combat from a long range. Speaking of bosses, some of my favorite bosses are the Tiger boss battles, mainly the Tiger Vanguard and the Yin Tiger. They stand out as some of the coolest, most fun to play battles. They emphasize martial arts, as well as their edgelord designs, coupled with stunning visuals, and the arena that you fight in make both of these encounters in particular a highlight of the game for me myself. However, despite the game's strength in combat, it really falls short in the overall experience of making you feel like Wukong. The gameplay often feels like an RPG with a Wukong skin laid over it. I know that sounds a little harsh, but rather than fully immersing you in the experience of playing a legendary Monkey King, the game lacks in platforming and acrobatics, something that I would expect from a character like Wukong, which feels like a very missed opportunity. Instead of swinging, jumping, and flying on Nimbus through the stages, you will find yourself holding down the sprint button. And with this lack of a map, it also encourages you to explore the map for hidden boss battles. I just feel like traversal in the overall experience is a little bit lacking when it comes to exploration. So now we get into the visuals and the audio of the game. Now, when it comes to the visuals, Black Myth Wukong is nothing short of stunning. The character designs, the environment, and the overall art direction are top notch. 10 out of 10. I love it. Making every moment visually captivating. And on top of that, the voice acting, equally impressive. Performances that bring the character to life enhances that mythical atmosphere. It's similar to all of the Wukong movies that I grew up, which are kung fu flicks that I grew up watching with one of my best friends. You know, some people were complaining about the English voice acting. It's very ideal to if you're into 70s and 80s kung fu flicks. Anytime Wukong is on screen, I think it's spot on with how they did the English voice acting there. So I have no complaints about the voice acting. Performances were great. On the audio side though, while the voice acting is very strong, the soundtrack is kind of a mixed bag. The music during exploration is non-existent, and the music during the boss battles is non-dynamic. It just doesn't quite hit the mark for me. It lacks an epic feel that I feel like could elevate the experience. Overall, the pros of this game, the combat, it's very engaging, it's very satisfying for most of the boss battles. The visuals are stunning and it has an amazing art direction, and I really enjoyed the strong performances from the voice actors that I felt like enhanced the story. Now in the cons, it's the soundtrack once again. Besides the dust stage where dude is going ham on the loot, you know, I feel like the soundtrack was very lacking. It lacks the impact that's needed to immerse you. Character feel, I feel like while the combat is very fun and engaging, once again, I felt like I was just playing a skinned RPG that was skinned as a Wukong. You know, that's just how I felt. The lack of platforming. I mean, for a Monkey King game, there is no platforming, no real-time cutscenes that kind of get you in the immersion. Like it's lacking those map and optimization issues. This game needs a map. Optimization issues I usually will overlook if I like a game, which I do love Wukong, but I have experienced it's almost frequent game bugs and crashes that kind of take you away from the immersion of the game. I get it, it's a beautiful game, it's gonna have some issues, but I found those issues just to be a little bit too frequent. And then for a game that has all of these, that is centered around boss battles, it's a boss run game. Not all of these bosses are fun. There are some amazing boss battles, but there are some that feel like they are inflated with artificial difficulty. If this game is supposed to be centered around boss battles, I expect all of the bosses to be fun, i.e. Shadow of the Colossus. Elden Ring, most of those boss battles are fun. I feel like when you inflate a game with artificial difficulty, you leave the boss battle being like, I don't feel satisfied from that. It's like when you're playing a fighting game and somebody's just doing a cheesy technique, and when you beat them, you don't feel like I beat a good fighting game player. No, you were cheesing and I just exploited you doing cheesy. Even though the boss battles are fun, not all of them. In conclusion, Black Myth Wukong is an ambitious title that excels in its combat and its visuals, but I feel like it falls just a little bit short in a few key areas though. While it offers a solid action RPG, the lack of platforming and true Wukong feel may leave some fans wanting more. However, if you're a fan of action RPGs and you're a fan of Chinese mythology and Chinese culture, this game is absolutely worth checking out. But if you're not, maybe wait for a sale around $40 or $50, or maybe wait for a patch or two. I feel like this game does deliver on its hype though. Overall package, I absolutely recommend this game to anybody that loves action RPGs or loves Chinese mythology. Go out, buy the game. If you're on the fence about it, go ahead, buy it. I think it's worth it. So that's it for my review of Black Myth Wukong. Don't forget, if you like this type of content, don't forget to like, leave a comment, subscribe so I can bring more of this to you. Don't forget to check out the sponsors, Team Red Pro, no weekdays. And thank you so much for chilling in the hangar while I've been working to make this content so hard for you guys. I appreciate all the love and support that I've been getting. And make sure you go check out one of my other videos that is on the channel. Once again, I am King of Hearts 002, aka Domo. I'm signing off, and thanks again for chilling with me in the hangar. I'm out. This right hand of mine is burning red. It's shining like colonies overhead. I'm listening, all the things I was said. Love, hate, and some sorrow. I choose peace instead.